Alyssa had never received mail with no stamp before. No name, no return address, just a black envelope that appeared on her windowsill one windy evening. She opened it slowly. Inside was a silver card with words that shimmered like moonlight.
You've been chosen. Follow the red arrow at midnight.
Alyssa blinked. Chosen for what? Was this a prank? But at midnight, just as she was about to toss the card in the bin, a glowing red arrow appeared, right on her bedroom floor. It pulsed softly, pointing toward the hallway. Alyssa's heart thumped with curiosity. She grabbed her sweater, slipped on her shoes, and followed. The arrows led her out of the house, down the street, and into a park where nothing but shadows stirred. And there, tucked behind a big tree, was a train station that hadn't been there yesterday. A sleek, silver train waited, doors open. Inside sat a dozen kids, around her age, wide-eyed and whispering. One of them, a boy with spiky hair, gave her a nod.
You got the card too?
She nodded back and sat down. The doors whooshed shut. The train hummed, and with a smooth jolt, they were off. When the train stopped, they stepped into bright daylight, on an island that looked like something out of a dream. Obstacle courses made of candy-colored rope, giant puzzle cubes floating above the sand, towers built entirely from books.
Welcome, players.
A deep voice echoed. A giant screen lit up in the sky. On it was a glowing blue eye.
I am the Watcher. You have entered the game of secrets.
The eye blinked.
You will face 3 challenges. Win them, and you earn the right to ask one true question about the world and receive a true answer. But beware, these games are not what they seem. You may leave at any time, but if you do, you will forget all of this.
Whispers rippled through the group. Alyssa's hand clenched into a fist. One true answer. That could mean Whiskers. Her cat had vanished 6 months ago, right after a strange night when he stared into the forest and didn't respond to her call. Neighbors thought he ran away. Her parents said he probably found another family. But Alyssa had always believed something else happened that night. She stepped forward.
I'm in.
So did the others. Game 1. The Shadow Maze. They entered a field of tall black hedges. The sun above cast long, twisted shadows. The Watcher's voice boomed.
You have 10 minutes to find your way out, but in the maze, your shadow moves faster than you.
Inside, Alyssa's shadow darted ahead. Maybe it knows the way? She chased it, turning corners, sprinting down narrow paths, but more shadows appeared. Dozens. Some like hers, others not. They twisted and crossed, leading her in circles. Her breath quickened. Nothing made sense. Then she paused. Watched. The hedge wall stayed still, but the shadows flickered and danced.
Don't chase the shadow.
She took a breath, ignored the tricks, and followed the real path, not the shadows. Step by step, she found her way out. Outside, several kids waited.
You figured it out.
Said the spiky-haired boy.
Ignore what tries to distract you.
Alyssa smiled.
Next time, I will.
Game 2. Truth tiles. They stood on a floor of glowing tiles, each one with a question on it. To cross the room, they had to step only on tiles they could answer truthfully.
Have you ever blamed someone else for something you did?
Alyssa froze. She remembered breaking her dad's mug and blaming the cat. Slowly, she nodded and stepped forward. The tile turned green.
Do you sometimes pretend not to care when you really do?
Alyssa swallowed hard and nodded again. Another green tile. But not everyone was honest. A boy ahead said confidently,
I've never done anything wrong.
His tile flashed red with a harsh buzz, then sank slowly into the floor like an elevator. The space sealed shut above him. He was out of the game. Game 3. The Mirror Room. The last challenge was simple, or so it seemed. A room full of mirrors, hundreds of them, each reflecting a different version of Alyssa. The Watcher's voice whispered.
Choose the version of you who can ask the right question.
Alyssa stepped cautiously, glancing at reflections. One version wore armor. Another looked angry. Another smiled like nothing ever bothered her. Some kids rushed ahead, touching mirrors at random. A boy with a nervous look tapped a mirror, showing him grinning and fearless, only for the glass to crack and swallow him in a burst of light. He vanished. Alyssa kept searching. Then she saw it. One mirror showed her exactly as she was, a little unsure, but still standing, still trying.
This is me.
She whispered and reached out. The mirror melted into warm light. The others faded. A silver doorway appeared ahead. She had chosen truth, not perfection. The Watcher returned.
Congratulations, Alyssa. You may ask your question.
Her voice trembled.
Where is Whiskers?
Silence. Then the eyes shimmered with a soft glow.
Whiskers was no ordinary cat.
The Watcher said gently.
He was a moonbound familiar sent to watch over you until your spirit grew strong enough to ask the question only you could ask.
Alyssa's eyes widened.
He was magical?
He was bound by a pact to protect you. On the night you turned 12, the bond ended. He returned here, to the island where all familiars go when their purpose is fulfilled.
A doorway formed behind the screen, glowing silver. From the mist stepped a graceful white cat with shimmering eyes. Whiskers. He blinked slowly, padded toward her, and brushed against her legs with a deep, rumbling purr. Alyssa fell to her knees, burying her face in his fur.
You came back.
You found your truth.
The Watcher said.
But some guardians are meant to guide many, not just one. Whiskers cannot return with you. His journey continues here.
Alyssa felt the sting behind her eyes.
But I only just found him again.
Whiskers looked up at her, calm and sure. His eyes said everything. You're ready now. She knelt and kissed the top of his head.
Thank you for staying with me as long as you did.
The door began to close. Whiskers gave one last soft meow and stepped back into the silver light. Alyssa opened her eyes in her room. The sunlight spilled across her bed. The black envelope lay on her desk, now blank and fading to ash. She sat in silence, then walked over to her window. The street outside looked the same. Ordinary. Quiet. But she wasn't the same. She remembered the maze, the truth tiles, the mirrors. She remembered how it felt to ask the question that mattered most. And she remembered Whiskers not just as a cat, but as a guide who had protected her all along. The sadness of goodbye lingered, but so did something else. Hope. And whenever the wind whispered through the trees, Alyssa smiled. Because somewhere out there, Whiskers was still watching, and she would carry the strength he helped her find for the rest of her life.